Hey, Mr. Driscoll here. Today on City Creatures, we're at Stanley Park, checking out the different animals in Stanley Park. So here we have an example of a mute swan. Of course, they're not natural to this area. It's been introduced. And in fact, its wings are clipped to keep it here year-round. And next to it, we have a classic example of a mallard duck. The mallard duck is probably the most well-known duck in these parts.
That's interesting. They nest in trees.
So there's our mallard duck, and right over here is a different kind of duck. It's called a wood duck. You see, definitely different kind of duck. Wood ducks actually live in trees, hence the name wood duck. Recognize this type of duck? Some people might call it a wood duck. However, it's actually a wooden duck. This is an example of a decoy. Hunters use these all the time. As to why it's in the water at Stanley Park, not so sure. Is it duck as well?
Yep, just called a northern shoveler. Again, because it's eclipse time, it could be a young male or a female.
So yet another type of duck we're seeing here. So we've seen mallard ducks, we've seen wood ducks, and we've seen this guy. Here we have a different type of duck. These ducks actually fish with their serrated bills, or anchors. So this is actually a saltwater body that they're in right now. They're not in freshwater. This is the shores around Stanley Park. It's not the lagoon anymore.
These ones, if they're common mergansers, which I'm pretty sure they are, they live in both fresh and salt water.
Okay.
Then there's one species that lives in only fresh water and one that only lives only in salt water.
Okay, so these are mergansers. Common mergansers. Of course, a video wouldn't be complete without a baby duck. So we have a younger duck here to have a look at. You can see the older ducks are in the background.
See, he's going through his first molt. He's still got some down feathers.
Yeah, you can see some of the down feathers. It's pretty good proof that he's still a juvenile. Doesn't quite have the coloration as the adults just yet.
But you can see he's... Follow my shadow. He's getting his first... flight feathers in.
So those are his flight feathers. So he's kind of like a teenager duckling, so to speak.
The most common in Vancouver.
So here we have a glaucous-winged seagull and a Canada goose. Now most people think seagulls are white, but that's only when they're fully grown. This is actually a juvenile seagull. They have more of a gray plumage until they finally reach maturity, then they whiten up a little bit. And of course, everyone knows about the Canada goose.
Double-crested cormorants and glaucous-winged gulls out on that log.
Well, there's a glaucous-winged gull. Kind of hard to see. And it's a cormorant?
Double-crested cormorants. 3 of them in the middle.
Just like we saw at our other adventure down by the waterfront. I can't get close enough to really see detail on him though, he's too far away.
Glaucous-winged gulls, they're the gull of Vancouver. For the most part. See that?
There we go. So we have some gulls and we have some cormorants hanging out on the water. Alright, what we're seeing here is a great blue heron. Now, he's not moving at all. He just stands in the water perfectly motionless and just waits to see something in the water. There you go, he moved, he saw something. He plunge his head right down and try and catch it. And they just ambush predators. They just sit there and wait. till eventually something swims right by them and then plop, in the beak they go. And there the blue heron is again, gracefully waiting its chance. Oh, it's getting ready to move. He's looking at us. Go for it, dude. Maybe difficult to see. There, he moved for it. It's another great blue heron. This one's perched in the trees rather than standing in the water. So there's our red-winged blackbird again. He's up in the tree this time. A little harder to see his outline. And there is our red-winged blackbird, finally a close-up. And you can see why he's earned that name. Here is your classic example of American robin. You can note the red feathers on the belly area is the dead giveaway that you're looking at a robin. Of course, he's not the only bird that we have over here.
Northwestern crow.
We also have the northwestern crow, one of the most intelligent city birds that you'll find.
Endemic to the Pacific coast.
That's right. Endemic to the Pacific coast. Is it Pacific? Or just common raven?
Common raven.
So, you may be able to hear that interesting call. What we're seeing here is a common raven. So a raven a little bit bigger than a crow, but they're both all black. And we got them both here at Stanley Park. So here we have a chickadee, a black-capped chickadee. They're named chickadees because their call is actually chickadee-dee-dee. I'm sure you've heard it before. There he is.
That's from the species.
Dragonfly flying. They're like little helicopters. So there's our little frog. We think it's a young Pacific, a young bullfrog. They're amphibians and they need to be near the water. And there he goes. So two more frogs here. We think these are green frogs.
Also introduced.
Also an introduced species, but not quite as voracious as the bullfrogs.
I wanted to take a...
So, here we have a mallard duck, and there are actually 4 red slider turtles?
Red-eared sliders.
Red-eared sliders. So here we have a mallard duck, and 1, 2, 3, 4 red-eared sliders, and those are turtles. Now, of course, these are not natural to this area. They probably all started their lives in a pet shop somewhere, and people release them in the lagoon, and they're able to make a living.
Two of them coming.
So, our eastern gray squirrel here. Same as the black squirrels, except they're gray. Not a different species. the same thing.
What's the whole thing?
So here we have two raccoons hanging out for an afternoon. There we go. Now, although these guys are pretty cute and look like bandits, they're wild animals. People love to try and go feed them. Problem is, they can be very, very vicious. Raccoons look cute, but they're quite aggressive. Particularly ones like this that are used to humans being around.
Incredibly sharp teeth.
Yes.
This guy missing a tail.
They're designed to scavenge, and they can eat almost anything, and they do a very good job living off of what man leaves behind.
Opposable thumbs.
They have opposable thumbs, which is not a common thing in the animal kingdom. And yes, it looks like this guy's had something happen to his tail. I don't think he's happy to see us.
That's why they're such good at scavenging, is because of opposable thumbs. They can open up garbage cans.
That's right. So if you think your garbage lid is safe, they're as good at opening it as you are.
Pigeon coming.
Yeah. Of course, the raccoons are paying us no attention at all. They don't care that we're just standing here because they're completely used to humans.
Shall I be a guinea pig and walk by?
If you want, yeah, we'll see what happens.
I'll stay in the path.
Of course, in the midst of this great wilderness, don't forget, the city is right behind us.